Baldwin River was one of the first neighborhoods to be hit by the outbreak in Witherton. It wasn't enough that it took first prize for being the poorest and most dangerous place in the city. It also had to nab first place in being overrun by the red-eyed people. Red-eyed people. That was what Abby called them the first time they saw them on the news, and the moniker stayed, because it was fairly simple, and the news had no official name for them. It started shortly after Heather came back from work as a waitress at the Wonder Meal Diner. On her drive back, the radio in the car spoke about strange occurrences inside the city and people going crazy and violently attacking others. In Baldwin River, of course, because where else would it happen? It wasn't mentioned, but Heather assumed drugs were involved. Either excess usage or lack of. She turned off the radio when the person on the news advised the residents of Baldwin River to be careful. It was clear that the speaker never stepped into the neighborhood. Otherwise, he'd know that being careful was a daily routine there. Heather wasn't worried about the news at the time. Every now and again news like that erupted from Baldwin, and a person living there could only have so many scares before realizing the media vastly exaggerated happenings in the city, especially in Baldwin. But when she arrived at the apartment complex, the scene that unfolded before her eyes convinced her that this might not be an ordinary news scare. A car had crashed into the wall just across the street. It was so loud Heather initially thought it was a gunshot. The front of the car was totaled, and when the door opened, a man stepped outside and started running down the street while screaming. The scariest thing about the whole thing? He was running with an open fracture on his leg. Seeing it happen right in front of the apartment where she lived with her sister made unease bloom inside her. Sure, she heard about these things on the news all the time, but she never actually saw it happening. It was like seeing something you already knew in theory presented in practice for the first time. Abby had been thrilled when Heather returned home because the two of them were supposed to go to the park. Heather hated having to topple Abby's hopes, but she felt that it would be safer to stay inside until the situation calmed down. Except, it didn't calm down like she hoped it would. Baldwin grew more restless and violent. Distant gunshots and screams became a daily occurrence. The sound circled the building where Heather and Abby lived, drawing nearer and farther like a shark surrounding its prey. Until a gunshot ripped inside the apartment right above theirs. There had been yelling and things breaking, which Heather could hear clearly because of the thin walls in the building. Then came the gunshot, and it was so loud it made Heather jump and Abby cry.